Plaintiff, Jennifer Hill, says she grew up not knowing who her father was, and her mom admitted that she wasn't sure either. Jennifer recently discovered that the defendant may be her father, so she petitioned the court for a paternity test. Defendant Melvin Lacey admits he had a sexual relationship with Jennifer's mother years ago, but insists he never knew she was pregnant. Melvin claims the first time he learned of Jennifer is when she recently reached out to him, and he hopes the DNA test will provide some answers.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
We are petitioning the court for a paternity test.
Yes.
All right. Let me hear from you first.
Okay. I'm here today to see if Mr. Lacey is my father. I don't hold no grudges against him. Growing up, it was hard not having a father. But my mom was strong. She would tell me that when I was like 7, maybe 8 is when I started asking her questions like who my father could be. She would tell me that she couldn't remember a lot of details. The only thing she could remember was that at the time he was working at a grocery store. And she said when she found out she was pregnant, she went back to try to tell him that she was pregnant, but he had moved. She said so after that, she didn't pursue looking for him or anything like that, and she just let it go, and that's all she could remember. So I would ask her, and that's all she could remember. When I was around 13, my auntie came to my mom and told her, there's this guy that she thought my mom could have been involved with, and he looked like me. And so I got to meet the guy, spend time with his family, just got invested emotionally with the family. When I was 14, my mom and that guy took me and we went and got a DNA test. He turned out not to be my father. It hurt. I didn't want to pursue anything after that, after I seen how my mom was hurt, and it hurt me. So.
Why was she hurt?
She was hurt just hurting for me. I was around 14 at the time, so I was still young. I
got you. I'm leaving your mother alone because
yeah.
That search could have started at age 1, though.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have had that hurt.
Exactly. So around March 2022, my mom and my sister took a DNA ancestry test. That sparked my interest in searching for my father again, not because I just wanted to know who my dad was, who the other side of me was, who my family was. So I took a DNA ancestry test. I ended up getting the results back. The results came back like a week later. Came back with a lot of names, a lot of percentages on who could be on each side. I didn't know what to do with that. So I went to Facebook and found a nonprofit organization. It was called DNA Search Angels. Ended up meeting this lady who helped me break down who could be on my father's side or who could be on my mom's side. We ended up finding my highest match, which ended up being Mr. Lacey's first cousin. He ended up knowing a lot about the Lacey family, from the grandmothers to aunties to uncles to who could have been in Chicago around that time, who could have been in Grand Rapids around that time. So it all broke down to it's either Mr. Lacey or one of his brothers that could be my father. So when his cousin reached out to Mr. Lacey sent me a text message saying, whenever I was ready to talk, he was ready. So I called him, and when I told him about the details which my mom could remember, he worked at a grocery store, and when she tried to go back to tell him.
He did work at a grocery store?
Yeah, that he.
Mr. Lacey, he worked at a grocery store?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So he confirmed that. So then he told me that he remembered my mom having this little light-skinned girl with her, pushing her around in a stroller around that time. That just was, bells went off in my head. That's my older sister. She's a year and a half older than me. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, I found my dad. So after that, me and my sister, and I took my daughter. I have 5 daughters, so he would be a grandfather to all 5 of my babies. We went over there, and met him for the first time. He was very receptive in getting to know me. I felt right off back like I look like him. I feel like it's just something that makes me feel like it's what it could be. But when I told my mom, she was not so sure, and she didn't want me to be hurt again. So she was like, I don't know. I think you need to get another DNA test because I'm not accepting nothing until you get another DNA test. So that's why I'm here today.
Okay. Let me hear from you, sir. Give me some background.
All right, Mr. Judge Mathis, I've been a fan for a long time. I want to throw that out first, okay? Of you and Doyle. I've been watching you guys for a long time. All right. Let me start off by saying right off the top, up until the early part of this year of what she was saying to you, I had no idea she existed. I just didn't know. When my cousin reached out to me and started giving me the story, like she just told you about the grocery store, the young lady she was pushing around the store, I remembered. I got a very good memory with everything that I've been through in life, like an elephant too, okay? So I remembered the story. I remembered her mother. I remember how pretty she was, those eyes. I remember her pushing she wasn't even walking herself. She was a newborn. And we had an encounter. Not just one time. We were seen. She would come in. I was working third shift, and she would come and see me. We only lived around the corner from each other. I used to walk around to her house as well. I had no idea she had gotten pregnant, and I just didn't know. I didn't run into her anywhere in the streets.
How old were you?
About 20.
So she was like 23.
Okay.
Right.
Yep, and then when he told me about what street he was staying on and then where my mom was staying, those two streets are right around the corner from each other. I look like him. It's just something that makes me feel like it's what it could be. But when I told my mom, she was not so sure, and she didn't want me to be hurt again. So she was like, I don't know. I think you need to get another DNA test because I'm not accepting nothing until you get another DNA test. So that's why I'm here today.
Defendant Melvin Lacey admits he had a sexual relationship with the plaintiff's mother years ago, but he insists he never knew she was pregnant. So he took a DNA test today to see if he is the plaintiff's father.
What happened in between? You left, you moved, she says?
Well, I moved. I was staying in one of my dad's properties, and then I wound up moving out of there into another apartment or a room or something. And
In Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I stayed in Grand Rapids. I was born in the city of Grand Rapids, but I was raised in Chicago. We went to high school, completed high school there. We started out in Ida B. Wells. I lived over there for a little while until they were able to get the money together and get us out of the projects. Then we currently moved to 73rd South Side of Chicago, where my mother still resides. I was over there this morning.
Okay.
After I completed high school, I didn't really have any plans, Judge. I wound up homeless.
Did anybody encourage you to have plans when you?
Nope. I gotta say no.
Yeah, your parents, your mom. You had a single mom, or you?
No, I had a mom and a stepfather.
Okay, and they may not have known the value of continuing education, and I give a pass to that older generation because our ancestors from coming up from the South had no real appreciation or understanding as to the value of advanced education beyond high school. Because when they came up, they didn't have anything, no high school, most didn't even have elementary. And they moved to work in the factories up north. And it paid them very well. I bet they talked about that.
Right.
You should get in that factory. Did you ever hear that?
No, not
You
too
should
much.
have heard that. That's what everybody was saying in
They
Detroit.
pretty much asked me what was I interested in, what did I want to do, and what how I got through high school. I didn't do too bad. I wasn't really looking to go to school. I got to be honest about it.
Whether you looking to it or not, somebody should have been looking to it, looking to you doing something. Anybody suggest the armed services maybe? Which is always a catch-all, unfortunately, when we can't find opportunity in the inner city.
My dad did, but You know what I mean? And I even signed up, and then I pulled out at the last minute.
Okay. So you did have something you were directed or had some insight into, because I always get an earlier generation break.
Your Honor, I also signed up for the truck driving school, and I went. I think I might have attended a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Before I just stopped.
What'd you do? Go on the streets then or something? Or you stayed in the basement? What'd you do?
Well, no, I was in the streets. Well, I was in the streets, but I hung out with. I had friends that, you know what I mean. That, you know, I had the one friend that he had a liquor store on 79th Street, and I used to help out up there. I really wasn't getting paid. I can't say I was working there, but I hung out up there, and in the mornings, he took a bunch of wood. Home Depot would be proud of him. He built a nice newspaper stand. We put it on the corner of 71st, and we used to get up like 4:30 in the morning and run out on the corner and go out on the corner and sell papers.
All right, you hustling. Let me say this to you though. Next time you're trying to explain where you worked, don't say I'll be up at the liquor store all the time. Be out there cleaning or whatever. I didn't get paid. I was just hanging around.
Right.
That wouldn't work.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't work. It wasn't, Your Honor.
No, you were trying to get your hit.
But that was somewhere I spent my time.
Trying to get your hit. You're trying to get your hit.
No, well, not at that. Well, we did a lot of drinking. We did a lot of drinking. When the store would close down,
You went from
we
drinking
locked
to
the
smoking.
store. Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Them 80s hit.
Yeah. But Your Honor, at that point in time, I hadn't got involved with that. You know what I mean? I strayed away from that. You know, it was only after I left Chicago and made it to the city of Grand Rapids that I let somebody introduce me to it.
You should be ashamed of yourself. And you left one of the 3 most flooded crack cities in the country to move somewhere where it was little crack, and you went and found some and got hooked on it there. You
Yes.
fought it off here where it was everywhere you look, left, right, back, front, up and down, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, everywhere
Yes,
you
sir.
looked in Chicago,
That's
there
right,
it
Your
was.
Honor. That's
you
right.
fought it off there. You went to Grand Rapids. It's hard to find, but you just kept looking till you found some. Hey, I fought it off in Chicago, but here I'm in Grand Rapids. Only one person doing it. Me and you gonna do it alone.
At 40 years old.
Now that's something.
You got that right.
Now that's something.
That's
Starting
right.
a crack addiction
That's right.
at 40.
That's
something.
right.
That's scary.
That's right. Yes, it is.
That's
and I
scary.
saw a lot of stuff.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
How you gonna
it
have me
is.
sitting up worried about my kids at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was out of the woods. Everybody 32 and above.
Yeah,
And
I
so you're
was
telling me
ashamed.
my 37-year-old lawyer, daughter, national leader, all of that, at 37, any day now she could be a crackhead.
I doubt that. I doubt
Why
that.
you doubt it?
made
You were.
I made a poor decision. I mean, I don't know how I let it happen. And you say I should be ashamed. I was very ashamed.
I'm
Very
saying by
ashamed
the
of myself.
age. I know a lot of people fell victim to the 80s dumping of cocaine on the inner cities, the crack dumping. So I say all that to say, you know, you should be embarrassed after escaping that. And
Yeah,
then fall
yeah,
and pray.
yeah.
Not to use it, period, but at age 40. Come on, man. Everybody done.
Right.
All right.
Right. Well, you're right. You're right.
I didn't get paid. I was just hanging around.
Right.
That wasn't work.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't work.
You
It wasn't, Your Honor.
No, you trying to get your
But
hit.
that was somewhere I spent
Trying
my
to get
time.
your hit. You're trying to get your hit.
Well, we did a lot of drinking. We did a lot of drinking. When the store would close down,
You went
we
from drinking
locked
to
the store.
smoking.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
Them 80s hit.
yeah.
Defendant Melvin Lacey admits he had a sexual relationship with the plaintiff's mother years ago, but he insists he never knew she was pregnant. So he took a DNA test today to see if he is the plaintiff's father.
The good thing today is that I hear that you have a desire to take to embrace your loved one whom you have not been with.
That's right.
And to take on the responsibility, both emotionally and otherwise. There's a responsibility even beyond financial, and that is advice, counsel, protection. And so that's why I'm sure it is the case that you are her father, and we're not going to have to do this anymore. Please don't run me off. I'm gonna run if I'm not right, and I am right, so
Oh,
I can
good.
take my time. Melvin Mason, you're the father. All right, there you go. Love it, love it, love it.
I felt it from the day I met him. Like, I'm happy, and I'm just ready to come on from here, move forward from
There you
here.
go. Absolutely.
Yep,
And that's
and
what
just
we're
keep
gonna
building
do.
on our relationship.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to building the future with you. Okay. I mean, like I said, we missed out on a lot of years, but I'm still here, and we'll move forward with the time, with whatever time I got left. All right.